I'm Teri and welcome to a special edition of Talking with Teri TV. I love connecting people and getting them excited to follow their dreams and elevate their potential in life, business, and beyond. That's why I hosted a live event called Breaking Beyond, where I invited 4 dynamic guests to share their stories, struggles, and inspirations. Here's Shaul Turner. All right, Shaul Turner is an Emmy Award-Winning TV journalist and comprehensive experience as a producer, anchor, host, and reporter in areas of breaking news, politics, customer, technology, tech industry, medical, as well as entertainment coverage. During her time at Fox 31, Shaul has served as a weekday anchor of The Good Day Colorado, weekend anchor and segment producer of 3 half-hour Black History specials, anchor of the Town Hall on Race Box, creator of host Ambush Therapy 5 Minutes with a Therapist, creator-host of Magnificent Mansions, and Problem Solvers reporter. So let's give a big welcome to Shaul Turner from Fox 31. I do too. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome. We have Shaul Turner in the house. I mean, have we not had the most amazing speakers today? I mean, have you had some favorites? Yeah? Okay. All right, well, we're going to get this party started here. Shaul, it's been an absolute delight to get to know you.
Me too.
And there's so much juiciness that I want to unpack with you because, we spent some time recently together and we had some great conversations about really, from the media perspective. Mm-hmm. Now we have entrepreneurs, we have business women, we have folks that are retired, but I think this message can hit every one of us, because all throughout the day today, we've been talking about the overcomer story, how to step into our power, how to own it. And now we're kind of wrapping it up with you in this place of like owning your presence on and around the camera. But before we do that, I just want to have you share some of the things that you've had to overcome and face in this industry.
You mean that I'm still overcoming and face, right?
All right, you said it, not me.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
But Teri, first off, I want to say I'm so happy to be here with you. First, your energy is just like bam, right? Okay. I mean, just being in the same room with this woman, sitting at the table, having some coffee, talking, learning about what she does, I was just blown away. Because let's face it, in this world today, what do we see a lot of? What? Negativity, right? We can't even pick up our phone and get on Facebook or Instagram. It's supposed to be like a little cocktail party, right? Everybody, hey, here, I burnt the muffins. Isn't that great? Somebody could post a picture of a puppy and have people starting a debate and arguing, whether the puppy's tail was really brown or chestnut, and getting really mad about it. And, it's just so wonderful to meet someone who is focused on, yes, acknowledging the reality of what's out there, but bringing us up, bringing us all up. So in my world, I focus on a lot of that. What's really bad out there, right? So you turn on the news, you see a lot of what's going on with the crime, All of those things are very important because we need to know about the world in which we live so we can make proper decisions for ourselves, for our families, so we can decide how to stay safe in the world. We need to know that, right? But then for me, just me personally, this is quite the guilty pleasure of being able to sit here and talk about positive things. Thank you, Teri.
Of course, of course.
This is fun.
I love it.
You may be wondering, well, what's with the hairbrush? You know, I mean, okay, yeah, I'm vain about my hair. Okay.
Well, I thought you were bringing it out to sing into it, but you know what?
Well,
When I was younger,
it's my. I got a receipt for it. It's my hair. Okay, I'll tell you.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, when I was younger, I was like singing that. How many of you sung with the, you know, hairbrushes, right? I upgraded.
Okay.
I upgraded to a blow dryer, and you turn that thing on, and you're like, yeah. I mean, like, when I had hair.
Yes.
Not anymore.
The reason I brought this hairbrush out is because we've been hearing a lot, and I've been listening to the other speakers. And Lee, thank you so much for the guidance and inspiration that you give everyone in the world. I mean, your voice definitely should be heard. And Lee is just, you know, so willing. I think you got to, like you said, you got to be vulnerable. You got to be open. You got to throw your pride out the window and say, hey, I'm willing to tell it like it is. This is me. And when you finally get to that point in life, then you're cool. You're okay, because that's really saying I'm okay with me. And to be polite, if you don't like it, that's too bad. But this is who I am. These are the shoes I'm walking in, and I feel good about it. Now, let's have you do that, and now let's relate. Let's go sit down and have that lavender latte, and now let's be real with each other, and let's get some things done. Now, the reason I brought out this hairbrush is when I was 13, I would sit in front of the mirror with, okay, I'm dating myself. Back then, you could cut an article out of the newspaper. Right?
What's that?
I would cut an article out of the newspaper and memorize it and stand in front of the mirror and say, and the fire was put out, and the authorities say there were no injuries. Shaul Turner, WLNS News, Lansing, Michigan. And I would feel like, oh, well, okay, then I graduated from Michigan State, and I got a job at WLNS. And I remember, never forget, the first time I got to hold a real microphone and say, Shaul Turner, WLNS News, Lansing. And that was a big moment in my life. I felt like I realized a dream I had for a long time, right? Now I'm on the curb doing the same thing. Shaul Turner and Greeley, Box 31. But I think your message is wonderful.
And right now, you're holding a Talking with Teri TV.
And now I'm holding
like,
Talking
right.
with Teri TV, Shaul Turner. Back to you. And a cold front's coming in next week. Well, but you know, I just think that, you know, just to say a couple of words here, and there's no such thing as a couple of words for me. All my friends know it. But wow, the messages I'm hearing today. I look around. All of us come through different walks of life. We all have seen different things. Some of us are moms. Some of us are not. Some of us are still dreaming, and we're kind of don't have any sense of time, and we get to a certain age and we say, wow, where did it all go? And I'm really, really immature for my age. That's me. But the same thing that we all have in common is that we want the same things. I've interviewed you know, big celebrities. I've interviewed someone way out in the middle of nowhere living in a trailer. I've interviewed people in prison, interviewed people who are total rock stars, Buzz Aldrin, people who've gone outside of the earth. But one thing I know is that we're all the same. We all want the same things. We want to feel safe in the world. We want to have some peace in our lives. We want to know that people we love and care about are okay, that they're going to be okay when they walk out the door. And we don't want to say, wow, I think I got to sit inside and draw the curtains and binge watch because it's just not safe to go out there. Okay? So I can relate.
So speaking of, you know, your career and your career path here, how have you created and maintained your presence and power without coming off in different angles, like just really having grace and confidence in the world of the media?
In the world, and then she says the last 5 words that totally changed how I was going to answer that. In the world of the media. Okay. Well, this is the thing. Whether it's the media, whether it's Disney World, whether it's just within your own home, what you finally kind of realize when you start growing up a little bit is that it all starts with you. I've heard this message 2 times today. The lack of control in life is real, right? We cannot control what happens out there. We can control what we do with that ball of mess that's dumped at our feet. Okay, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to see it? And we divide it up, and this is something I've learned recently. You can make a strange little division and put something in a case and put it on the shelf and realize that how you feel about yourself, how you feel when you get up in the morning and you're still going to have that favorite frappuccino or whatever you like, has absolutely zero to do with what's going on at work, what's going on that you heard on the other side of the world, all of that stuff out there. The fact that the mailman, maybe was rude to you, whatever, has zero to do with the fact that you really love a lavender latte, and you're going to enjoy it, and you love your friends, and you love the beautiful things in your life. Learn how to compartmentalize, and I say that is the key. Oprah said once, the ship can't sink until the water gets in. And that makes so much sense. Now, we can put on that brave face. Well, guess what? It just doesn't matter to me. What? So-and-so did what? Who said what? Oh, really? Okay. Well, it doesn't matter to me. Yes, it does. Okay? Let's be real. All of it matters. But it's how we decide how much of it we're going to let sink us is what's important.
So going back to that question, how have you created just confidence in general then?
Confidence?
Confidence.
I think confidence, okay, somebody, Shep Smith, Fox, our station used to be owned by Fox as an O&O, owned and operated station. It belongs to a different broadcasting company now and all that. But when they used to fly us out to New York to do workshops with the Fox News Channel morning crews. So Shepard Smith was there at the time, and he said something to me that I will never forget. He said, the key to actually doing really, really well and having the confidence and never getting nervous about anything. And I don't get nervous really about anything related to that kind of thing. Walking out of the dressing room at Macy's with those jeans I thought I could fit in. Now that I'll get nervous. But Shep Smith said, be prepared. Be prepared in whatever you do, and it takes all of it away. So you have a business, you're getting ready to make a pitch, you are getting ready to even decide in the first place to take on a business, be an entrepreneur. You decide to invite someone over for a small dinner party in the backyard, whatever it is, if you are prepared, then you know you got this. Those nerves from deep down and insecurities come from question marks, too many of them. How's this going to turn out? Blah, blah, blah. You have to mitigate that by being prepared.
Powerful. Love it. So what are some practical strategies or communication techniques that you would recommend for individuals getting ready for whatever that is? Because I think, how many of you have a desire to be seen on TV or podcast or radio or
have what you're doing be publicized. Get that word out there. Mm-hmm. And I would say that the key to this is really understanding the animal you're dealing with and the time you're dealing with it when it comes to broadcast media. Broadcast media is going through a lot of changes because of that thing I left back in the green room that usually pasted to my hand, the smartphone, okay? People can look at a phone, they can get information right away, weather, they can get all that kind of stuff. So broadcast media has had to change to adapt to that. Broadcast media offers things a cell phone cannot offer. And one of those things is more in-depth look at certain things and visuals at the same time as, targeting a certain audience that is local. All of those things that can be used are very, very important. So you have to understand, though, how to get our attention. And in a day when I saw a study that said human beings have the same attention span as that of a goldfish now because of smartphones, because we get everything fast, right? quick. I was at Starbucks, I saw somebody come in with a 3-year-old. He crawls up in the chair, grabs the iPad, swipes around, opens it, picks out his favorite cartoon, hits it, and I'm thinking, wow, when I was that age, we were playing with those little rings from Fisher-Price, okay? We weren't doing all that, all right? So the human brain is different now. So you have to learn how to get in there and get that attention from people, including us. We have, because of technology, access, my inbox has 200 emails a day, people, wanting to get attention, paid toward what they're doing. You have to figure out how to break through that and to figure out a way to be flexible and adaptable so you can fit into the game today. I remember, and it wasn't too long ago, Teri, where someone went up and pitched a story. Hi, I was wondering if we could sit down and have coffee and talk about this really important thing going on in the community, and then maybe we could have a couple of meetings, talk about how you might want to cover it. Okay, that's not happening today. Ever. Ever. Okay? The pace is just too fast. It's like this. Send me an email, send me, get to know me somewhere, send me a text, and say, here's what it is. This is coming up. This is why this is worthy of news coverage, because it ties into, name the topic of the day that it ties into. And believe me, I don't care what's going on. You can find a way to tie your business into it. There is a way. You may not like the way initially, but there is a way to, because there's so little time now. We have, like, our story count used to be maybe 10 stories in the first part of the news before the first commercial break. Now it might be 15. It might be more than that. It moves like this. What's relevant is what you need to ask. Who has a business in here where you could say what the product is? Do you? What's that?
Dental services.
Okay, dental services. Here's the old way we might get a press release about that, or an outreach, right? We have great dental services, and we really would love some promotion because we do a lot of different types of things that people would be interested in. Let's have lunch and talk about it, because maybe you guys might be able to do a story about it. Won't even be looked at. This is also advertising intensive time, where if that's all you want, then we direct you to the advertising department, okay? Now here's another approach. We have a new type of technology we're using at our dental clinic, or a new approach to working with kids who are too nervous to come in and get their teeth cleaned. Or we have a cool new dentist office that's built to look like a zoo. It's really fantastic, it's interactive, and it's like Meow Wolf. Okay? You might want to check this out, because we have found a study that says 80% of kids won't even get their teeth cleaned because mom and dad can't even get them to the dentist office. There's a news nugget for us, the study. There's some cool visuals, or the new technology goes to the health reporter, and I covered health in Atlanta for a long time. And it's those kind of things. People want to know about that. Figure out the target audience. In Denver, we have a huge target audience of families, moms and dads. What are their needs? What are they trying? We have something that would make this easier for mom and dad to come and use our services, because we know parents have no time these days. Looking for a way to get the kids off the smartphone? In our dentist office, we have a whole little setup over here where they can learn how to pick up a book and read. Okay? I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that you can tie in, but you have to just think out of the box when you want to get the media's attention, because that's the animal it is today.
I'm Jeffrey Bowling, owner and jewelry designer at Jeffrey B. Jewelers, Denver's #1 jewelry design studio. And the reason why we're #1 is because of our 3D custom jewelry design. We can show you what your piece is going to look like way before the end product. And this is going to give you the comfort of knowing you get exactly what you want.
He took me over to the computer and we started drawing up exactly what I wanted. And I told my husband, I'm like, Jeffrey B is the person we're going to use.
And the other reason is that all of our gold and our diamonds are ethically sourced. So when you're ready to make that proposal, when you're ready for that legacy piece, go to jeffreyb.com and make an appointment. Because when it's love, it's Jeffrey B.
All right, so this, and I think this is true, because like when I'm sending in segment proposals, it's like that you've got to have it relevant, you've got to have it connected, in order for it to be picked up. It also pays to have connections.
Yeah.
It
You gotta
does.
have connections.
It does help. Inside your booklets, she has given tons of little tips and ideas. So this booklet is like gold filled with information from all of our speakers today. And so make sure that you keep that. But that was your contribution, was to give some tips and things like that to be seen and on media and stuff. So today we've been talking about breaking beyond and breaking, through. In what ways do you feel like in your life you've done that?
Oh, wow. When I look back at my life at this point, I think if you would have asked me that question about 10 years ago, well, let's see, I got some good jobs, and my resume reel is looking really good, and I think that I've done a better job of saving a lot of my work when I'm on the air so I can get that resume reel ready for when I need to use it. And well, I've done a really good job. I would have said I've done a great job really finding the right curtains at home, okay? Now what I say is all inside. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I've done a better job of figuring out myself, breaking through by saying, wow, perspective. Let's put our perspective glasses on. Let's learn to put some things in perspective and not be so affected on the inside by things that don't matter on the outside. Let's put up some boundaries. And when I say boundaries, I don't mean closing yourself off, because I've done that too, to be the strong person. Lee, I know you talked about that, about how that's a great way to defend yourself, right? Well, that doesn't matter, because do the hair flip, okay? All right? Do your hair flip, but do it in the mirror, because you're like, okay, I got this. I got this. What Lee was saying again about self-love, so important. Figure out what really matters to you. I've had young people in the business tell me, oh my God, I need a Porsche, man. This young man said that to me, and I'm not gonna feel successful till I have this and that. I said, how about this? What were you born with? What do you mean? I said, you didn't even have a rattle when you were born, right? No, but you were what? Cherished like the most priceless thing on this earth by your family, your parents. Mm-hmm. If that wasn't the case, by the world you were cherished just for being. I'll put the period at the end of that. Okay?
Yeah.
So everything else from that is just some extra stuff. So it doesn't matter. So if I think we could all just go back to that, what did we come here as? Keep it there, park it there, and then everything else, deal with it for what it is. We were talking at lunch. Boy, am I picking on Lee. I'm telling Lee back there in the back. I went to Paris recently, and I'm looking at all the wonderment of it, because I had a really, really, really big birthday that I was like, I'm gonna have to drink a lot of champagne. Okay, and I'm going like where it comes from. But I saw some women waiting in line, and I'm not knocking this, for 4.5, 5 hours to buy a purse, a designer purse. And I thought, that's fine. See, if that's what they want, right? That made them happy. Then I'm all for that. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, I just felt grounded then. I think that's I felt like, wow, I don't need X, Y, and Z to make me feel valuable in this world. I don't need a certain job. I don't need a certain person telling me that I'm okay. I don't need a certain person telling me that I'm good at what I do, or that I work hard, because I work hard to be good at what I do, and I work hard because it's the ethic I was raised by my parents to have. I feel like we go forward, we're a reflection of our parents, and whether they were the parents you wanted them to be or whether they weren't. You're a reflection of a lot of things in your life. You're a reflection of your own children, because they are of you, and you receive from them, and you move forward from that, and it still shapes who you are. I don't have children, by the way, but I love to lecture to my sister and her husband, who have two, my niece and nephew, who I love, all the time about child rearing. I'm the fun aunt, by the way. I love to lecture about how in my day, oh, now you know. But I won't get started on that.
We all need aunts like that. Well, and I think what you're talking about too is being authentic, right? Like it's getting back in touch with being authentic and showing up and being yourself. And so taking a combination of all the messages that we heard today and really stepping into kind of your expertise is about stepping into and becoming your best broadcaster.
Yes.
What tips or tricks or tools can you share with the audience today about becoming our best broadcaster? Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, I tell people in order to create a path to impact, you cannot be the best kept secret.
Oh, no.
You cannot be the best kept. We know the Mel Robbins of the world and the Tony Robbins and the Oprahs because they have a name for themselves and they've created that by also allowing them to have that powerful impact.
Yes.
And so how can we be the best broadcasters for ourselves?
Well, the number one thing you need to consider is how much do you want to broadcast and what do you want to broadcast? Because in this world, thanks to, let's go back to that smartphone, just think of the power of that thing in the hand of anybody, especially young people, able to put out there in the world something that can never be taken back about you and your life, okay? Used responsibly, putting things out in public is something that can benefit you greatly. Obviously, you know that as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as moms, no matter your walk in life, right? But with great responsibility, and I'm gonna just underscore that until the cows come home here, it can be used to really do a lot for your business and for your entire life. Just remembering that, think long and hard before you do it, then you got your tax strategy and you're out of the gates. The horse that cannot be put back and unring a bell, that one, I love that one. You can't unring a bell, but when you do ring it, it's powerful. So what you first want to consider is, what is your target audience? And being authentic is so very important because people these days have access to so much that they can sense when you're not being authentic, and they gravitate towards someone who is authentic. We have so much more freedom now to be ourselves, don't we? Especially as women, we do. I mean, back when I was coming up, let me tell you, in Atlanta when I worked as a news anchor, and out on the streets reporting, this is Hotlanta, August, and the women were required, okay, to wear a suit, blouse underneath, pantyhose, and high-heeled shoes every day. The suit had to be all the way to here, the arms, every day. Now, fast forward to today, I have seen people out in the field wearing flip-flops, okay? Now, I don't agree. I'm old. Mary's like, okay, Mary and I come from the same business. We worked together before. But I think what you want to do is decide what your brand is and stick to it. And then put it out there and you have more control over it. You want to maintain control over your image when you are putting it out there in the public at all times. Do not let that get away from you, because that will turn around and do some things that you may not want. You may have results you don't want. So decide on research. What do people want from you? What do you provide to them? Where's your need? Where's your niche? And what would that image be that is palatable to someone else? I'll never forget when I sold my home in Atlanta and I came out here to work. The real estate person I'm working with. Well, now we're going to move this furniture like this. We're going to have it just like this, with a nice little table here. And I was like, no. But she said, now listen now, Shaul. This is for the people who want to buy this, not for you. And I'm like, okay, take the zebra print rug out. No, I didn't have a zebra print rug, but my point being, well-researched, decide what you're going to do, stick to the plan, and give it some time, and it will bring you results in the media, social media, everything working together to get your message out there.
And it's okay to say no. I think this is so important. Maybe 4 years ago, I had Oxygen Network reach out to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna do a 3-hour thing, and I was like, wow, this is like so great. This would be fabulous media. And I kept testing it, I kept getting no. And so Monday she called me, the producer, and then by Friday I had to have an answer. And I kept testing it, and I kept getting a no. And so I called back the producer, and I'm like, it's a no, And everyone's like, still to this day, I have people like, why would you turn down a 3-hour episode with Oxygen Network? And the reason for it wasn't in alignment with my message. It was not in alignment with my business. And if I had done it, it probably would have destroyed my other company because they had a twist. And the twist was so not in alignment with any, I was like, thank you. But it's okay to say turn down things if it's not in alignment as well. And that's about being authentic, right? When you're authentic and you know where your lane is, and by saying no to that, it opened up other doors. That was just amazing in different ways.
Absolutely, because you had a strategy. You were thinking about that, and that's when social media first became available to everyone. You probably all noticed, right? You get on Facebook especially. It was like any attention is good attention. Here's my dinner last night. Here's my shoe. I just stepped in a puddle. Any attention is good attention, right? And I think that we are seeing that that's slowly starting to shift back. You're hearing more people say, I'm just not on it, I mean, we don't hear a lot of people say that, but people who don't have a need to show a lot of that stuff are simply not. And there are a lot of high executives, especially, do not. You're not going to see that out there. But I think used responsibly, especially with the advertising on social media and the advertising on websites like our website, advertising is very powerful. Obviously, you're reading an article, you hit an ad. You're reading the rest of the article, you're going to hit another ad. All those venues are very, very powerful tools for you to get your business's name out there. But again, very carefully researched, responsibly, on point, on message, and you can really benefit.
I love it. Powerful. Okay, let's finish up here with these quick questions here. So how do you pick yourself up in face of defeat?
Crumble. Now,
crumble cookies?
See, I'm being
crumble
too
cookies?
authentic now. Yeah, crumble cookies.
I was saying, or just you go into a fetal position, like.
Well, I think that I say every morning. We were talking about, and I don't know if you were going to ask me this later about a mantra or not.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the next question.
Well, then I'm not going to say it yet, but I will say this: face of defeat. It took me a long time to get here too. We have this thing in our mind. I think when we're much younger. I'm going to control everything in the world. Everything. And then you go up in Walgreens and they don't have pink bubblegum lipstick number 58 and you're like, whoa, okay, maybe I can't control everything. Okay. But on a serious tip, nothing can be controlled in life, technically. But what we can do is adapt to it, embrace it differently, brush it off, and what my grandma said, who lived to be 93, is tomorrow is always another day. Give it 24 hours, and I really believe in that. And I started to test that. Every time I had something that was a real letdown, a real emotional challenge, I would give it that 24 hours and put this on the shelf, and sure enough, I'd have a fresh look at it in 24 hours. There's nothing 24 hours can't help to address.
Okay, so speaking of your mantra or saying or quote, what is that?
Every morning I just say, look, this is the universe, around the universe and around the world. It's my home. And my home is anywhere, and I belong anywhere where I want to be. I think a lot of times we come up, now I'm just learning how to say them. Hold this right. A lot of times we come up thinking, my identity is tied into where I live. It's the neighborhood I live in. It's the city I live in. How many big buildings are in the skyline where I live? This is really, really young, okay? When I was real young, I was up in Washington State, and the Partridge Family would come on, and that scene, you know, where they would all say, well, let's all go down to we live in Los Angeles, let's all go down to the recording studio and cut a song, come on, everybody. And I just had the worst crush on Keith Partridge, okay? I mean, those puka shells, come on. And I felt like I lived in a university town up in Washington at that time. My dad always worked at universities, so we moved around to university towns. And I thought, wow, I want to live in a cool place where you can run down to the recording studio. I just felt like, I'm not cool. I don't live in a cool place like Los Angeles. And then you can always why associate yourself to something like that? You're not associated to the car you drive, where you live. You're not associated to even the part of the country where you live. It's just the whole world. You live in this world. It's all yours. It's all yours. It all belongs to you. And if you get on a plane and go tomorrow to Australia or to Paris or to South Africa or anywhere, guess what? You belong there because this is all for you. All of it.
Love it.
So be the queen you are and travel to all of your territories.
I love it. I love it. All right, what's your final piece of advice for the audience?
Just what I think the common denominator is what you've heard all day today. I've received so much. I've heard a lot from all of you that's provided me with a lot of guidance as well. Just enjoy your life. It's so short. I realized that on my last birthday. Wow, it goes by fast. Okay, just do you. Be who you are. Have confidence in who you are. And respect that. Look in the mirror and say, just like I really admire so-and-so I saw in the concert or so-and-so I saw in a magazine or whatever, they too are having some same issues like you are. The same thing. Because we all want the same thing. We all face challenges. We all get up in the morning. We all go to bed at night. Some of us later than others. We all love a good creme brulee. Okay. But wow, respect yourself, protect your family, make time for loved ones, and don't ever say or do anything when it comes to another person that you wouldn't regret if they were gone the next day. Do yourself a favor and put that love out there, like Teri, like you are.
Oh. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this special edition of Talking with Teri TV. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love to all of you, and we'll see you on the next show. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell to find out about my upcoming shows. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time.